Welcome to the part 2 of this series. I hope you're safe and fine. I'm requesting you to stay safe, stay home, please take care, and don't stop learning, as this is absolutely free for everyone. Sorry to say this, please save the file and then refresh. I'll show you what. So if I go to the Sublime text, I'm gonna remove this first here, and just I'm gonna leave it as my web page. Now if I go and visit the web page, you cannot see any changes. Okay, cannot see any changes. So I should save here first, and then we cannot see the things changed. So the first is not removed here. So I should refresh here to see the change. Okay. Today's bytes, I have named it as bytes that today's topic covered. That's all boring things. So I have named it today's bytes because that is some nice name to say. Okay, the block level and the inline elements differences. So we'll see the block level, the inline elements, though their differences. So we have H1 to H6 element. So we are using now H1 only we are using now, but we'll be using H2, H3, H4, H5 and H6 later. But we'll see what are those today. The paragraph element. We saw paragraph last time, but today we'll go in much depth with the basis on block level and inline element. And we'll be seeing nesting elements. That's also a fun topic, but it's a little trickier topic, so I'll be concentrating on those. Image element, okay, then self-closing tags and container tags, both actually are the same topic. Then div, then span. Okay, that's it we'll be covering today. We'll start with block level and inline element. What is a block level element? Elements which take their own block is known as block level element. I'll show you this later, but when we nest elements, we'll come to the topic. When we nest a block level element inside a block level element, the line breaks. We'll see that later. Not now. No need to understand everything at an instant. Slowly we'll go. So actually this is a crash course. I cannot go slowly, but understand slowly. Okay. Elements. So what are inline elements? The elements which fit into one other elements without breaking the line are known as inline elements. Let's see. I'll just so you can see here H1 element, my web page, and a paragraph element. So I'll use H2 element here. So you can just write that element name and hit tab to get the whole syntax. And I'll write H2. So if I save and if I refresh, we are getting H2 here. Fine. Then H3. I want to create H4, H5, and H6. These are the 6 levels of heading present in HTML. So H3, so H5, H6. So if I save and open the browser, if I hit F5 in Windows for refreshing, I'm getting 6 different levels of heading. This is the most thicker heading, so let me zoom a little. So okay, this is the most biggest heading. This is the second size, then third, fourth, fifth, and the least size. This size is less than this paragraph size. I'll be frequently using these 4. These 2 whenever there is an article, these 2 most common use. Okay, that's it. These are the 6 levels of heading, and we know what is a paragraph tag, which is used to wrap the text of paragraph within it. It's a block level element. So you want to create an lorem dummy text again. So here if I wrap it within a paragraph tag, another shortcut, if you just type the opening brackets and black slash, you're getting the whole thing, because the sublime text assumes that we are going to close this paragraph, so it alternately gives this p and the closing brackets. So now, yeah, we have created a new paragraph. If I refresh, you can see the changes. So there's a new paragraph that is for head and paragraph. And now if I show and if I inspect, so this is a inspect. So you can just right click in Chrome and hit to inspect, or Control Shift I for Windows. So if I click this my web page, or if I hover over it, or I have this option like touching and clicking, so you can take its whole block of line. That's what I meant when I showed you block level element. So elements which take their own block of line. That's what I meant here. These take their own whole lot of line. This one. Okay, better I'll click here. No need. So it takes its own line. This also takes its own line. This takes. Even okay, I'll scroll down. Even this one takes. And we have a default styles applied. We have a default style applied. Here, block. You can see here, block. This is a proof for telling h1, h2, h3, h4, h5, h6, and paragraph tag is a block level element. And the text is bolded defaultly for all the heading. But here, paragraph, the text is not bolded, but it's just block. Fine. So this is what you need to know with the elements tab. I'll close this and go to Sublime. The next tag we'll be learning is anchor tag. And we have an attribute. So let's see what is an attribute. Wait. Okay. Attribute give additional information to the elements. Syntax of the attribute is name of the attribute equal to sign, opening quote, double quotes, the value of the attribute, closing double quotes. See, same thing. So anchor tag is used to create links in a web page. So you want to create a link to Google. Link to Google if I want to create a Google. So what does this do, right? If I save it and if I previewed it in the browser, refresh, and creates a link to Google. But it goes nowhere because we have not mentioned the attribute for it. That is the link. We have not given the link. The page does not know where to go. It's not a magic. If I write Google, it goes to Google. No. This is it. So when the user clicks there, Google link here, and it should redirect to Google web page. So let me http www.google.com. If I save it, if I refresh it, and if I click here, it takes me to Google. Okay. Don't forget to put this or type this http :// because it generates a http request which takes us to the Google web page. So I think so that's it for this linking. You can link to some web pages, or you can even link images. If I refresh, we can link to images. So we can even use href tag to link images. Okay. But that is not the proper way. We can insert images instead of linking to images. Okay. So, okay. Now it's difficult for me to go back. So what I can do is that I can make a new attribute. It's known as target. Target, we can give the value as underscore blank. So it creates, redirects the link, which is given here, to a blank page or a new tab. So now we can see. So if I save, if I refresh, and we are going to a new page, and you're seeing this image, dog image, cute, right? I am linking this dog image because I have saved the image in the same file. So I'm just writing the name of the file. So if you've saved in a different file, you should write that file name. If I'm saving it in an image folder, so image and then slash, then docs, or saved in a different file, it's image slash html slash learn, then image docs, whatever path. But I have saved the image in the same folder where I have saved this html file. So that's why I'm just writing the image name for JPEG. If you want, you can see here. This is the image, but this is very big. So this is a folder. I have the index html and the image docs. So now let's insert that image inside our web page. If I hit image, and here we have the source attribute by default. Write the image and hit tab. We're getting the source attribute by default, and you can just copy, paste it, and if I save it, I'll go to the browser. We're getting a gigantic image. Oh, see the dog face now. We're scared, I believe. Oops. Much big. So I can control this by two more attributes, but that is better to be done with CSS. But I'm just telling you, with attribute 300, 100, 300 becomes very small. So actually to say, we have the comments option. You can create a comment using control and slash, backslash. You can just use control and hit slash. We are getting a comment. You can type inside that, which is ignored by our web page. So I'm typing the height is rational to width. If the width is 2 and height is 1 is to 2, then if we change the size to 500, it changes to 250. So that is relative and rational. If I save this, if you want, you can preview yourself. That is relational. So the height also changes, the width also changes. And image is a inline element because the anchor tag and the image tags fit into the same line. And we have two containers. One is generic container, another is inline container. We'll see that both. So that first container is generic block level container, a div. So if I hit tab, I'm getting the opening and closing. So I am just cutting and I'm wrapping till the first paragraph into the div. I save. Nothing changes because now we have grouped these things. If we change the things, the changes appear to these things. So now we have grouped this. It's very useful when we code with CSS and professional websites. We mostly use divs to group things. And if I want to group these three things, I can use another div. Okay, that's it. So now I have grouped two parts. It's like invisible grouping. Behind the scenes, these are grouped, but in front of us, we cannot see anything. So if I apply styles to this group, so for example, say this style, it's an attribute, style attribute. You can apply CSS using this attribute, but I don't want to teach CSS now. Say color and blue. No, you can understand this, I guess. And the things in that inside that generic container changes to the color blue. The text inside that generic container changes to blue. So if I want to add style to this, I can add the same way. I'm adding red here. Don't worry, no need to memorize or no need to know these things. So now the things inside the second generic container changes to red, but this does not change because this has a default style applied by a web browser. So this will not affect this anchor tag. So we'll learn those topics later, but it changes all the paragraph, the color of all the paragraphs. So we are grouping these things. Now I guess you can understand these things. I'll remove these styles. Those are not needed now. And last thing is span. So I am just sit amit. I'm adding spam there. Span. So what does this span do? This groups an inline text. So inside paragraph we can group something and we can give a style. A red. So if I save and refresh, all the default colors, all the styles would be removed because I have removed that div styles, and I can see sit amat to be red. So this is why we use span to target some element, and this does not break lines because it's a inline generic container. That's a block level generic container. So that's it for this part. We will see in the next part.